everyone, my name is Carrie Hansen, and I'm here today to talk about digestion. We'll be discussing how the support of optimal digestion affects our consequence systems, the endocrine, immune, cardiovascular, and detoxification systems. There are a couple things I would like to point out about digestion. First of all, every cell of the body depends on digestion to provide the nutrients it needs for structure and function. And this here is just a quote I like about Hippocrates. Kind of talks about how digestion is directly linked to your health and well-being in every single way. This is something to be mindful of every time you put something into your mouth. If there is any stress in any of the consequential systems, it always has its root in the foundational pathways. These are the areas that we as nutritional therapy practitioners or NTPs always go back to and focus on when dealing with any health issues. I'll be going through the consequences many people experience when the foundations are out of balance. Let's talk about our foundations. They are nutrient-dense whole foods, digestion, blood sugar regulation, mineral balance, fatty acids, and hydration. By supporting each of these foundations and by adopting a more nutrient-dense diet, the body's chemistry can be brought back into natural balance, working towards optimal health. We'll touch on all these foundations, but I'll be mainly focusing on how digestion supports optimal function in each of these four consequence-related body systems. The foundation that is mainly tied to endocrine dysfunction is blood sugar regulation, but optimal digestion is also extremely important. A book that I highly recommend and that really lines up with the concept of always going back to the foundations first is called The Hormone Cure by Sarah Gottfried. It is one of my favorite books on hormones, and I'll be referring to it when talking about the endocrine system. Throughout the book, Gottfried emphasizes stepping back to investigate what your body is trying to tell you and using a systems approach instead of just masking system. More on this later. Let's talk a little bit about the endocrine system. The endocrine system is a system of complex relationships all about communication and hormones. Our hormones are little conversationalists, always talking about something. My goal as an NTP is to try and focus on the foundations, supporting the whole body as well as the parts, to see what hormones are talking about, instead of just trying to cover up or fix symptoms of hormone dysregulation, as mentioned in the book. On the right here are the main glands and organs involved with the endocrine system. Let's first focus on the hypothalamus and pituitary located in the brain. I want to stop for a moment and think about a beautifully arranged orchestra where everything is in balance and just sounds perfect. Now, let's envision our hormones as the musicians with the instruments and the pituitary as a conductor, signaling all of the musicians or hormones. Then imagine the hypothalamus as the manager of the orchestra, giving the conductor or the pituitary its job description. The pituitary regulates the symphony of the hormones. Due to our modern diet and lifestyle, though, our orchestra might get out of tune, just like our organs can. If one thing is off, it can affect other parts of our body. Every cell, tissue, organ in our body work together to achieve homeostasis. Let's move on down to the adrenals, which are located on top of the kidneys and produce hormones that regulate blood sugar and inflammation, which is important in our flight or fight mechanism. These hormones include sex hormones and cortisol. Cortisol helps you respond to stress and has many other important functions. The Hormone Cure talks a lot about cortisol and all the havoc it can wreak on our bodies when it's out of balance. So we want to make sure that our adrenals are supported with the appropriate nutrients, which I will go over shortly. One of the most important things when considering optimal digestion and the endocrine system is a focus on supporting the liver. The liver is a hardworking organ and has over 500 roles in the body. Here, it is responsible for conjugating, which is a chemical process that prepares a substance to be excreted, and deactivating excess hormones. For example, if men or women have too much estrogen in their body. The Hormone Cure focuses on hormone imbalances and what we can change in our diet and lifestyle to help reach for hormonal homeostasis. It articulates how we can support our body as a whole to keep everything working in harmony. It also stresses how the liver needs to be working properly in order to effectively do its job. The digestive role of the liver is to produce a digestive juice called bile and deliver it to the gallbladder for storage. Bile collects waste products and emulsifies or breaks down fats. I'll explain later why this emulsification is so vital. We need to make sure that the body is able to take in, digest, and absorb all the nutrients to make the hormones in our body. I'll share some strategies for helping with this later. Endocrine insufficiencies and lack of beneficial gut bacteria may inhibit nutrient absorption, even though you may be eating the most nutritious foods. The brain and endocrine system control our digestive processes. So, the brain controls the responses of hunger and satiety. The endocrine system controls the release of hormones and enzymes required for digestion in the digestive tract. See how it's all connected? Now, let's take a look at what we can do to support digestion for our endocrine system. Focusing on digestion from north to south is one of the most important things we can be mindful of because our bodies need to be able to digest the necessary nutrients in order to function. Digestion starts in your brain just by thinking about your food. You want to take in all the colors, textures, and smells of the food to start the digestive process by making the appropriate enzymes. When the food hits your mouth, be sure to chew at least 20 to 30 times each bite. Make sure you're eating in a relaxed state, a parasympathetic state, which is the rest and digest state. A few minutes of deep breathing or a gratefulness practice before eating are a couple of examples. You might want to make sure you're consuming enough good quality fat and protein with each meal to make sure all the hormones dealing with digestion work together the way they are supposed to, as the body cannot make hormones without protein, fats, and cholesterol. Adding quality fat to the diet helps you feel full and makes food taste better. So add some grass-fed butter to your steamed broccoli or make your own dressing using herbs, extra virgin olive oil, and vinegar. Proteins are the building blocks for hormones. We should keep that in mind and try to add protein with every meal. Again, in the book The Hormone Cure, she claims that one of the common and often overlooked causes of hormonal imbalances includes poor nutrition and or inadequate precursors to make hormones. She also talks about how it's extremely important to balance blood sugar levels, which then supports healthy endocrine function. She stresses that you can support adrenal health by managing stress, getting consistent high quality sleep, moving your body, and mindfulness practices or yoga. Some other things we can do to support the foundations are keep our minerals balanced, because every endocrine gland and organ has a mineral upon which it is dependent. So it's important to get these in your diet. Last of all, make sure to keep properly hydrated, which is important for transportation because water makes up the fluid with which hormones travel through. All right, here I'll just give some examples of specific foods and therapeutic nutrients that can help with digestion and endocrine system. So if you look over on the left, we have examples of fruits and vegetables high in antioxidants and fiber, some good quality fats and proteins, nuts, seeds, legumes, and some miscellaneous foods healthy for endocrine function. And over on the right are therapeutic nutrients that you can get either in your food or in high quality supplement form. All right, moving on to the immune system, which fascinates me more than the more I learn about it. To this day, it is not fully understood, but we do know that our immune system is like a conversation between our biology and our environment. It is made up of cells, proteins, tissues, and organs, which all work together to defend the body against bacteria, toxins, parasites, infections, and diseases. It works its magic using 3 lines of defense. The first defense is our physical and chemical barriers, such as skin, digestive tract, nose, tears, saliva, stomach acid, which I will be referring to as HCl or hydrochloric acid. Even things like coughing, sneezing, and vomiting can help rid us of unwanted invaders. They attempt to keep out these germs and then deal with them if they manage to get in. If something does get in, the second line of defense kicks in. This is our innate immunity, also called the nonspecific immune system. It fights harmful substances and germs that enter the body, like through the skin or GI tract. If your immune system senses something in your body that can be bad for you, it triggers the release of special cells. These travel to where the trouble is, attack the intruder, and help get rid of it. If the second line wasn't available due to its job, the third line of defense, or our adaptive immune system, makes antibodies and uses them to specifically fight certain germs that the body has previously had contact with. And antibodies are proteins produced when our immune system detects harmful substances like antigens. This is also called acquired or specific immunity. One of the main things that fascinates me is that our adaptive immune system constantly learns and adapts, and that our body can fight bacteria or viruses that change over time. And over here is our lymphatic system, where the majority of the adaptive immune response takes place. It consists of a network of small tubes throughout your body that collects fluid called lymph from tissues. Lymph, lymph flows through your body, collecting dead cells and germs and filters them. This is just a quote. It's a good reminder that healthy digestion is key to strong immune function. And this is because 70 to 80% of our cells in our immune system are in and around our GI tract, which is a really important barrier, as we just talked about. We need to make sure our gut is healthy so we have proper enzyme production, healthy mucosa, and proper acid production. The main role of our HCl is to sterilize the food we eat and to prevent harmful bacteria from entering the GI tract. An indication of a deficiency in HCl or digestive enzymes is the inability to digest food properly. This is a common problem due to poor eating habits and high stress levels. The last and extremely important point to make is how vital it is to have a healthy balance of bacteria in our GI tract. The gut microbiome refers to all the microbes in your intestines. While some bacteria are associated with disease, others are actually extremely important for your immune system, heart, weight, and many other aspects of health. An imbalance of healthy and unhealthy microbes is called gut dysbiosis, which can contribute to health issues. All right, to keep this balance and work towards optimal function, it's important to strengthen the defenses and eliminate the stressors. Some things we can do to help keep a balanced microbiome are eating a high fiber diet, which helps feed the good bacteria and makes them thrive. I'd recommend about 25 grams a day, which is the daily recommendation. Eat the rainbow of color fruits and vegetables, which are full of antioxidants that guard against free radicals, which are molecules that can harm your cells. You can consume fermented foods that contain probiotics. Some ideas are sauerkraut, kimchi, kefir, yogurt, beet kvass, and kombucha. Also, you can provide healing nutrients to support healthy stomach lining. Some examples are zinc, aloe, vitamin C, a slippery elm, and cabbage juice. Avoid over and under eating, which can put unnecessary stress on your immune system. Support northern digestion with the above recommendations for optimal nutrient absorption. One of the most important things, in my opinion, is eliminating high processed sugary food and drinks. This will benefit your overall health. You can manage stress with breathing, yoga, meditation, or whatever brings you joy. Happiness, laughter, and connection and healthy relationships will also boost immunity. Getting adequate sleep and rest will support optimal immune function as well. One last thing you could try is a pulse test to see what foods could possibly be stressing out your body. There's a free download for Dr. Coco's pulse test listed here on the bottom right. All right, so here's some more foods and therapeutic nutrients. On the left are some fiber-rich, colorful fruits and vegetables, as well as some of the above listed vegetables that I've already mentioned. And then over on the right are our immune system nutrients that will help benefit. All right, moving on to the cardiovascular system, which includes mainly the heart, blood, and blood vessels. A healthy heart depends on a healthy body. So I'll go through the foundations, again, emphasizing digestion and how it affects our heart health. We need a diet of properly prepared, nutrient-dense foods and the ability to digest them, especially protein to make the amino acids that are needed for the heart. We already talked a bit about the importance of HCl for proper digestion, and here it is needed to absorb calcium and digest the heart-healthy B vitamins. We also need proper liver and gallbladder function for optimal fat digestion. Lastly, we need healthy gut flora to produce B vitamins and vitamin K2. Our body needs plenty of vitamin B6, B12, folic acid to help keep homocysteine levels low. Homocysteine is a caustic amino acid formed from the incomplete metabolism of the amino acid methionine. High levels increase cardiac risk. Other measurements of risk for heart disease besides high homocysteine are high blood pressure, high CRP, which is an inflammatory marker that is used to indicate systemic inflammation, and elevated LDL particle number, which I will further explain in the next slide. First off, heart disease is a complex, multifaceted process With so much information and studies that seem to contradict each other, it can be easy to get lost amidst it all. One thing that recent studies have proven is that cholesterol and saturated fat are not the enemy when it comes to heart health. Cholesterol and saturated fat actually protect us against heart disease. We need good cholesterol in our diets for building and maintenance of cell membranes, vitamin D, steroid hormones, and is converted to liver to make bile, which is needed for proper fat digestion. Another misconception is that all LDL cholesterol is bad. More recent studies have shown that it's not so much the concentration of cholesterol in the LDL particle being the primary factor in the development of heart disease, but rather the number of LDL particles that matter most. Let me use an analogy to provide a more clear picture. Imagine the bloodstream like a highway. The lipoproteins are like cars that carry the cholesterol and fats around your body, and the cholesterol and fats are like passengers in the car. Scientists used to believe that the number of passengers in the car, for example, concentration of cholesterol in the LDL particle, is the driving factor in the development of heart disease. But more recent studies, however, suggest that it's the number of cars on the road, or the LDL particles, that matters most. So the more cars that are on the road at one time, the more likely it is that some will crash into the fragile lining of the artery. You can think of LDL as a taxi service that delivers important nutrients to the cells and tissues of the body. I found this illustration to be extremely helpful to understand the LDL particle number. I'm going to take a look at this here on the right. Again, eating a properly prepared nutrient diet is key for a healthy heart, as stated earlier, making sure to include good fat, protein, and fiber with each meal. The appropriate mix of fatty acids is important for the management of inflammation, which is a major factor contributing to heart disease. Focusing on north to south digestion is always a great place to start by following the steps already mentioned, by getting in a relaxed state before eating slowly, and chewing each bite about 20 to 30 times. I'll include some therapeutic nutrients in the next slide to promote optimal HCl production, as well as nutrients to support healthy liver and gallbladder function. Some other ways to support the foundations for a healthy heart are listed here. Keeping hydrated to support optimal lymphatic flow and proper blood viscosity. It's also important to get pure water, but to make sure to have the right electrolyte balance in order for efficient protein and enzyme function in the body. Eliminate or reduce refined sugars and flour, carbohydrates, which can cause inflammation. And when talking about minerals, we get the charges needed for smooth flow of blood in the vessels from minerals in the food we eat. Magnesium and calcium are especially important and are essential for a healthy heart. Get your minerals by consuming a variety of fresh vegetables and fruits, preferably organically grown, whole dairy products if tolerated, bone broths, whole grains, legumes, and nuts that have been properly prepared to reduce phytic acid and other factors that can block mineral absorption. Get exercise, stretch, move your body regularly, but don't overdo it. Get adequate sleep and also find some time to relax and deep breathe throughout the day. Find ways to manage your stress, and lastly, as much as possible, avoid exposure to fumes, chemicals, pollutants, and pesticides. On the left here is a list of heart healthy foods. Again, going over the same things we've talked about: eating the rainbow, foods with high fiber, antioxidants, foods with healthy fats. And here for the heart especially, foods high in the fat-soluble vitamin K2. And then here are some examples of foods rich in heart protective factors. And on the right are a list of therapeutic nutrients that help our cardiovascular system. Lately there has been a lot of popularity around different cleanses and detox products and our protocols, with the majority of them geared towards rapid weight loss and feeling better after a time of overindulgence. This can lead people to believe that detoxification is something that needs to be done at certain times and usually with expensive products, when in reality, our bodies are meant to detox every day, especially when the body is functioning properly and mostly at night. Let's focus on digestion. If a person isn't digesting, even the most perfect diet can clog the body's detoxification pathways. We need to make sure we're getting enough protein in our diets because there are some specific amino acids that play crucial roles in the detox pathways in the liver. We should support healthy liver and gallbladder function because poor fat digestion can clog the lymph flow, also stressing the liver. Keeping the bile flowing optimally is important because it is the river by which our toxins are removed from our body via the intestinal tract. Our intestines, liver, gallbladder are extremely important in detoxification. Our intestines provide a physical barrier to stop foreign molecules and chemicals from entering the body. Healthy integrity of our GI membrane helps keep toxins out of the bloodstream. All right, so supporting our other foundations, over on the right, our blood sugar regulation. If we have elevated blood sugar and cortisol levels, that can stress the liver and deplete the B vitamins, which are important for detoxification. Lowering stress and eating balanced meals can help with this. Our mineral balance plays an important role by keeping toxins from accumulating and processing them once they're in our body. Here are listed 3 M's that are important for detoxification. It's magnesium, molybdenum, and manganese. And of course, keeping properly hydrated is extremely important for detoxification. I can never stress enough to always address the foundations first with detoxifications. It's vital to make sure all elimination pathways are open for detoxification. If they aren't, the liberated toxins can't get out and will continue to recirculate, and you will feel unwell. You will feel sick. Our main elimination pathways are our colon and urinary tract. For example, if someone is constipated, they're not able to properly excrete waste through elimination. So eat your fiber, get plenty of water, and move your body. It's helpful to remove as many internal and external toxins as possible to take stress off of all our detox organs. Some internal toxins are stress hormones, such as cortisol, bacteria, parasitic or fungal overgrowth, poorly digested food, and cellular waste. Some external toxins are air and water pollution, radiation, chemicals in the home, pesticides, and pharmaceuticals. So start looking at labels of cleaning products at home and slowly trade them out with more clean and natural products. Adding as many fruits and vegetables, healthy fat, protein with each meal will supply your body with important minerals and vitamins to support detoxification. This is especially important because in order for toxins to be released, they need enzymes to be working. Enzymatic reactions can be supported with properly broken down proteins. It's helpful to remember that, like digestion, detoxification is a parasympathetic process, which is our rest and digest state. So it's imperative to support healthy sleep, stress, and movement. For example, don't eat a big meal before you go to bed because your body will prioritize digestion before detoxification. Your body does most of its detox work while sleeping. So try to get good sleep and keep a consistent sleep schedule to help your body out. Movement is also important because the lymphatic system relies on it so it can do its job. Last of all, proper hydration is extremely important for transportation of toxins out of our bodies by moving bowels and urine regularly, as well as keeping the blood fluid so that the toxic material may be delivered to the lymph and the liver. Here again, on the left, are some essential fatty acids vital for phase 1 detoxification, which we didn't get into, but our body needs a good amount of the essential fatty acids, which we have already previously listed. Again, all fruits and vegetables, eat the rainbow. Here are some specific cruciferous vegetables that really help to support the phase 2 detoxification. And then again, all high quality proteins are going to help. On the right are listed our detoxification nutrients. Here are the references I used throughout my presentation. And I just wanted to thank you so much for exploring how our digestion affects our consequence systems with me.